Well, good morning, everybody. Hope you're having a great morning. It is a windy summer morning, or excuse me, winter morning here in Liberty Lake. Hopefully, you can see some of the view. I don't know if you caught last night's sunset, but it was absolutely amazing. So, if you get a chance to catch our sunsets that we try to post every night that there is a good sunset, not necessarily knowing if there is one, so post as regular as we can. Sorry, I'm just trying to get the photo to load here. Little technical difficulties on the actual photo. So just bear with me here. Let me get that done. Here we go. All right. Almost done here. There we go. And we should be live here. And hopefully you can hear my voice. This is the first time I'm actually talking while doing this. Doing this live webcam, or whatever you want to call it. So, if there's anybody out there that's has any questions, I like to start my morning off with a little cup of coffee and also just kind of think about all the things that I'm grateful for in the morning. I find it's the best way to start the day. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my health, that I can wake up and do these kind of things. I saw my mother yesterday. That was very pleasant. Got to hang out with her, get her a little set up. And it was just a very enjoyable afternoon with my mother. And then I got to come home and see my wife and my child. Just a truly blessed life. I'm in construction. I'm a contractor, so I can still work with my body physically. I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for this incredible view that we have out our house looking over Liberty Lake and Spokane Valley and into actual downtown Spokane. So I'm very grateful for a lot of things. Is there any things that you guys are grateful for waking up this Sunday morning that you want to share? Let me know. There seems to be a lot going on in the world out there. I don't really watch that or participate in a lot of the negative stuff. It just seems to drag me down, and I don't get a lot of positive things out of it. I don't see the win in it necessarily. So, and as far as affecting change, it doesn't seem to really affect change worrying about things, living in fear. So I try to stay positive. Hopefully you're in a good place today. Um, Seems like that there is a lot positive going on out there. We had a beautiful couple days, sunny and 60 degrees, which is warm for here, but just sunny. We need that vitamin D in the Northwest. That vitamin D is something that we just can't get enough of because we're definitely lacking it. And sorry, just doing a little couple technical things right here, right now. There we go. See what I sound like here. So if there's anybody watching, good morning to you. Looks like we got one viewer. Hello. Hopefully you're having a nice relaxing Sunday morning. Gonna do something fun today or productive maybe. I know I've got quite a few things to do today. I got some tile work to do, and maybe go to the park with the kid and my wife. It is really windy out there, so I don't know how much park we're going to do, but we'll definitely get outside and try to get some of that sunshine. It is overcast, but there is some sunshine peeking out here and there. And hopefully you guys are going to do something fun today and something productive. I don't see a lot holding me back today from accomplishing either one of those goals. My my family seems to be doing well. And that seems to be the most important thing to me is my family. As I get older, I really appreciate it more and more and more. And like I said, seeing my mother yesterday, it's always nice. And also seeing my stepfather. He was in my life when I was very young, 2 years old. So it's nice to see him. They're struggling with some health issues as you get older. It's just a difficult deal. The food, the exercise, the stress, stuff like that. It takes its toll. Luckily, they do live in a small town. And community-wise, they seem to be involved in the community, which helps. My stepfather actually went to the library yesterday and was there for a lecture about apples. And they've got like a small orchard on their property. And so it's something that interests him. And stuff like that. My mom's really starting to get into some health aspects and wanting to know different ways of eating and just being, so to speak. She's trying to cut down on the news as well. That seems to be helping. It seems like everybody I know that starts to cut back on either social media or news, news or negative social media, seems to really help their life a lot. So I know that I was looking the other day and I was thinking, you know what, maybe I should do positive news and talk about that. There seems to be quite a bit of it when you actually start to really research it. Sometimes it kind of goes political, which is unfortunate. It seems like trying to find positive news is a little bit harder than trying to find negative news because negative news is the lowest hanging fruit. So it's the easiest one to sell and pitch and outrage and fear and all that. But when you get past all that and you look around and see the life that we can live and the things that we can do, it's pretty positive out there actually. I know it seems overwhelming sometimes, but it can be really good. Life can turn around. It's just all on your perspective and how you look at it. And you know, sometimes like when you don't have enough money to eat, well, you could look at it as a good time to fast. I know it sounds crazy, but it's all a perspective. And sometimes it adds up and so, your perspective becomes kind of negative, and sometimes it adds up and your perspective becomes really positive. And it's just, you got to fight every day for that positive perspective because it's easy to get sucked into the negative of it. But seems for me at least that always focusing on that in the morning, first thing, of saying, what you appreciate and what you're thankful for. You know, Thanksgiving kind of embodies that, and Christmas, for me at least. And so, I'm not really a big Thanksgiving food person, but I do like the idea of being thankful for all the stuff that really means something in your life. And that's what I'm thankful for. I'm actually thankful for this wind. It just makes it a little bit more interesting, the scenery. The trees are blowing pretty hard. Um, can't really see it so much on the camera, but they're blowing pretty good. Let me see if I could lighten up that picture a little bit. Using the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, and it's not the best when it comes to um, as far as controls. Once it goes live, it takes away all the controls except for like the pan and the zoom and the stuff like that. But as far as any of the camera settings, it just takes it all away from you. So there's not a lot of control that I have as far as the lighting and stuff like that. You can press on the screen and it will do it. So I think I'm going to try to get a different camera. The one that seems to work the best is when I do my phone, but unfortunately it ties up my phone, so I can't use it. But the phone is better than, as far as the quality of picture live streaming, um, the phone is much better, especially for the sunsets. It seems to really pick up all the pinks and the blues and just all the different colors in a sunset. Last night was an absolutely spectacular sunset. Um, we had a 7-hour video from mid-afternoon to sunset yesterday, and just fast forward to the end of the sunset. It's worth it. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Subscribing really helps the algorithm. Excuse me. Helps the algorithm push the videos more. And I really think that, positive videos like this, sunsets, sunrises, afternoon, anything to calm and get that cortisol level down seems to really help. So I like for these type of videos to go more viral. They are difficult because, like I said, they're not putting you in an outrage state or a negative state, so it doesn't give you that dopamine hit that you're looking for, or that we're all looking for. So hopefully this will, bring down your cortisol level, start off your day, be thankful for everything that you have in your life and the people that you have in your life. Sometimes even the people that you don't appreciate, they can open your eyes to maybe not thinking like that or being like that. That's what I've noticed, that a lot of people, sometimes when I think, oh, that person's really negative in my life, but they kind of show me that that's where I don't want to be. So even the negative people you can appreciate. But yeah, to me it's a beautiful Sunday morning. There are some clouds in the sky. It's quite windy out. We're on the top of the hill, about 800 feet in elevation above the Spokane Valley, so we get quite a bit of wind. And if it's 10 miles an hour, 20 miles an hour down there, it's about 60 miles an hour up here, 50 miles an hour. We had one about a month and a half or 2 months ago where it was about 90 to 100 mile an hour winds, gusts, and it blew down some trees and some other things. So it gets quite windy, but we also do get an incredible view, and the wind does stress the trees and makes them stronger and more resilient. So the ones that do make it are stronger and will be here longer, hopefully. And so if you guys are watching right now and you want to subscribe to catch more sunsets and sunrises and some afternoon stuff, I also did a drive yesterday from Liberty Lake to Sandpoint, Idaho. Liberty Lake, Washington to Sandpoint, Idaho, about an hour and 15-minute drive. And that was my very first chat ever live streaming, so you might want to check that out. I do drive into Sandpoint, which is a beautiful little town. population of about 8,000 people. It's the most northern town just about in Idaho, about 30 minutes from the Canadian border. Got has a massive lake, about 45 miles long, 1,300 feet deep. And the fun thing about it is the surface temperature water is about 78 to 80 degrees in the summer, which makes great wake surfing, wakeboarding, skiing, fishing, all that kind of stuff. It's also got a really nice ski mountain called Mount Schweitzer, which is private, so it's quite developed with lodges and restaurants and stuff like that, compared to either the county or city or U.S. owned government, Fed or state. So it's just a very pleasant place to be. But hopefully you are somewhere that you're enjoying your Sunday morning. And Liberty Lake is about the same population as Sandpoint. It's a bedroom community to Spokane or in the Spokane Valley. So we do have all the privileges of a large city next to us. We're about 20 minutes away. We're 30 minutes from the airport, which is nice, the Spokane airport, so people can fly in and fly out, and we can go pick them up without too much struggle. And yeah, it's a great community. It's got a nice little lake. You can water ski and all that kind of stuff, water sports on the lake. The closest ski mountain is Mount Spokane, more of a beginner to intermediate mountain. We went up there the other day for the first time. Took our daughter up there skiing. Really enjoyed it. Very pleasant mountain. Mount Schweitzer is more of a intermediate to advanced skier. It's a big mountain, and they just have more and more to develop. They had a real rough winter this winter. They got around 30 something inches of snow, which usually they get around 200 and something inches of snow. So just to show you how hard this winter was. But it does have Schweitzer is in Sandpoint, and so because of that, you still have the lake that kind of supports it. It's still packed. I was just there yesterday, and the town is packed, and even with very little snow. So if you get a chance, go check out Sandpoint, Idaho. There's also a bunch of lake towns. We have Liberty Lake. Liberty Lake touches Washington, so it's the bordering city to Washington. To Idaho, and it's a great community. So you can go from Liberty Lake to Coeur d'Alene Lake. Coeur d'Alene Lake is in North Idaho as well, and that's about 25 minutes away from Liberty Lake. It's got a really nice development. It's a huge resort on the water. It's got a floating tee or a floating golf course. It's huge lake as well. I think about 30 miles long, and so great. All kinds of water sports there. Really nice downtown. And then as you head towards Sandpoint, more northern, you're going to pass Hayden Lake, which is another good lake, and it has a nice golf course on it as well. And then after that, you will be arriving in Sandpoint. There's a couple little lakes, Lake Kootenai, on the way there, some smaller lakes. But when you're driving from Coeur d'Alene, or basically from Hayden to Sandpoint, on the right-hand side of the highway will be Lake Pend Oreille, which is the giant lake in Sandpoint. And you'll be driving alongside of it for almost 40 miles. It's that big of a lake. And when you enter into Sandpoint, you go over what's called a Long Bridge, which is over a mile long. And that goes over the river that feeds it, just to kind of give you a perspective of how big this lake is. And the river that feeds it is a mile wide when it comes into the actual lake. So it's a big lake. And then Liberty Lake has, if you're into golfing, has 3 golf courses, all really nice. 1 public, 2 private. And then Coeur d'Alene has, like I said, a really nice golf course. Quite a few celebrities live in, or not live in, but have second homes in Coeur d'Alene. I think Kardashian's one of the latest ones. So it's got a very posh downtown for a small town. The other lakes are the other golf courses. Hayden has a really nice. I lived on Hayden Lake Golf Course way back in the day. A really nice golf course as well. And then Sandpoint has, I think, 3 golf courses, and they have the Idaho Club, which is a private golf course with incredible homes, and it's right on the actual lake itself. So if you have any questions or anything you want to talk about, just put it in the chat. But I understand it is a Sunday morning, and not a lot of people are up watching live streams on a Sunday morning. But if you're there, I'm here. And anything you want to chat about, just throw it up there. I like to keep it PG. There are children that do watch the sunsets and the sunrises, and so just let's keep it G or PG if we can. Thank you. But yeah, you can see the clouds rolling in, rolling out. Some of the planes going overhead. We do see some of the jets going to Spokane Airport from here. Not really the flight path, but you'll see a couple, 2 or 3. And it's actually just a magnificent view from up here. We're very blessed to have it. And hopefully today it gets a little warmer. I think it will be getting warmer. Man, I sure do love my coffee in the morning. Feel like I got a great night's sleep last night. Woke up around 6 o'clock, had my eye mask on, and did not realize that it was 6 o'clock. I thought it was 3 o'clock in the morning when seemed to wake up around then at 3 o'clock in the morning. But it wasn't, so I got a great night's sleep. Hopefully you did as well. And what else? Well, just let me know if you want to chat about anything. Maybe what kind of music you're into, what kind of hobbies. I really enjoy all kinds of lake sports, off-roading, uh, motorcycles, quads, all that kind of stuff, side-by-sides. Uh, I've really gotten into parks because I have a young child, and so that seems to really be fun too, discovering new parks. I never knew there were so many parks in our area or in any of the areas that I've lived until I had a child, and there's some really good ones out there. But yeah, just a nice, relaxing Sunday morning. Wow, so much to be thankful. I'm just watching the clouds roll by. It's just such a serene scene. The beauty is almost overwhelming sometimes. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm definitely a morning person. Oh, starting to have some sunlight peek out on the clouds and starting to show down on the valley. Looks wonderful. Yep, it's a windy one. Those clouds are moving fast. I think this is the lowest viewership, but I don't know if I've done a Sunday morning live stream. I understand the competition to do other things is very high, but this will be a good way to get used to talking on the live streams. Yeah, maybe I'll take another picture of this and make that the thumbnail, because this is looking really good. Let me see. There we go. I'll change the thumbnail. You really got to love YouTube as far as entertainment and information. Get quite a bit of information on podcasts on health and stuff like that. So it seems to be a really good way to research. I don't know if you've used it ever for that, but it does have quite a bit of podcast out there, and they have quite a bit of doctors and so on and so forth on that aren't so mainstream. All right, let me change that that photo. Here we go. Changing it right now. I like to update the thumbnail. It seems to just kind of fun as the day progresses, just updating that thumbnail and showing the different stages of the day. We have quite the wildlife out here. We have a pretty full-size great horned owl that is living in the trees all around the property, and we have a couple bald eagles, and there are cougars in the area, bears, bobcats, marmots, you name it. Turkeys, tons of wild turkeys, deer, of course. We do kind of live in a nature preserve, so there's nature, a lot of it. Pretty much every kind of animal. There's a trail cam. There's a YouTube channel. I'll put a link to it. And last year, 7 different cougars, because there's just so much food. The food is so abundant that they don't go without. From what I understand, cougars, usually the population is down low. If they're around wolves, the wolves will scare the cougar off and take the meal. And so the cougar's constantly in a hunting cycle and never really burning a lot of calories. So it kind of keeps their population down. But there is nothing here for the cougar it's going to take away its meal. And so there was, on one of them, there was one that had kind of a large cyst looking thing on the side of it, very distinct. And then another one where there's 2 adults that are together. And then another sighting on that same trail camera with a mom and 2 adolescents, probably, I don't know, they look like they're about 90 pounds. So cougars, I guess, are bigger than mountain lions. So they get quite big here. And I haven't really heard anything bad about as far as any kind of people. They don't really go after the dogs. That's usually the coyotes. So if you have a small dog and it's out in the back and it's barking a lot, that's basically a dinner bell. And from what I understand, they will they will also eliminate the thing that is scaring off all of their food. So if you have a dog that's barking constantly, they will they will eliminate it. Our next door neighbor had, I think, 2 dogs or 3 dogs, little dogs, and they will go out on the back and they will bark. And then we heard about 2 weeks ago the coyote celebration. They make like this party celebrating when they get something. And unfortunately, I think they did get one of the dogs over there because we do not hear the dog on the back porch anymore barking. We're on about 5 acres between us, and the dogs, you know, they're those that yipping kind of, and it's a signal that I'm here, come eat me. So if you have a little dog and you're moving into the kind of rural areas and they bark a lot, make sure they're inside and not unattended outside, because coyotes will get them. I guess coyotes are part of the wolf pack or wolf family. They hunt in a pack, because I've only seen like one coyote by itself, but I guess they can and do hunt in a pack. I guess they say if you see one coyote, there's usually 6 or 7 you don't see. Quite interesting. Um, what else about Liberty Lake? Oh, we got, because we're on the hill here, the wind comes up the hill, so there'll be quite a few different, like, turkey vultures, all kinds of birds that will just, you know, fly in the air. There's one going across right now. Takes a second for it to hit on YouTube. There's about a 2-second, 3-second delay. And they'll perch on top of the trees. And these trees that you're seeing the tops of, they're probably, some of them are about 70, 80 feet tall. Maybe a couple of them are close to 90 feet. But when a bird or an owl is perched on top, and they're quite visible, they're huge. They're actually a lot bigger. We had one great horned owl. There's a video on my channel of it landing on our porch, and because we have mice and stuff like that run across the lawn, because we do have about 2 acres of grass, and so there's no cover for them. So they'll sit there and they'll get on the trees or on the porch, and then they'll come down and get them. And I did not know that owls, you cannot hear them fly. There's a pretty interesting video that shows a falcon, a pigeon, all these ones, and they have about, these really high intensity sensitive microphones. They put about 10 of them in a row, and they'll have trainers, and they'll have the bird fly across, and all birds you can hear flapping their wings, but for some reason owls you cannot hear. So when you see an owl strike an animal, it doesn't even see it coming. It can't hear it, can't see it. And versus like a falcon or another type bird or an eagle, it hears it and it'll start scrambling. Usually, it's too late, but yeah, the owl, they have no idea. It just happens. Completely silent when they fly. It's amazing. Anything else anybody want to hear about or talk about? Anybody out there? Wow, it's looking beautiful. Anybody have a favorite place they live in or like to go? Or I have one of those electric mountain bikes and a pedal assist. And during the snow recently, I was pulling my daughter around on an inner tube behind it. It's got the big fat tires all through the hills here. And man, that was a blast. She would, I'd go slow enough to where she could like fall off of it, and then she would run and dive and attack it. And that was a very special day. just something fun to do when you're out here and kind of in the woods. We're 10 minutes to the bottom of the hill. It's quite switchbacky, and so we're about, because we have Home Depot here and all that kind of stuff, even though we're a bedroom community. So to get to Home Depot, I'm about 15 minutes, which isn't bad. It's kind of how I rate a place, how long it takes me to get to Home Depot. What else? Liberty Lake does have, it's a very family-oriented place. They have all kinds of parks with tons of concerts going on all through the summer in a lot of the parks. And so if you're into, some music, what was it, last summer, they did Shakespeare in the park. My daughter really liked that. What else did we take her to? Oh, we just took her to the Cinderella Ballet in Coeur d'Alene at the junior college there. She really enjoyed that. What else? So I think I'm going to be starting another live streaming on the discussion of kind of more financial based on sweat equity type thing, talking about just in life, um, putting in some work, physical work or mental work to gain equity in whatever it is, whether it be gardening, farming, literal sweat equity in your house, your primary investment, just a bunch of different things that can kind of take the burden or take the reliance off of other other things like grocery stores or financial things. Um, Seems that that's really worked out in our life. We grow a lot of our own food. We do. We we usually buy the ugly house on the block, so to speak, and fix it up ourselves, and either sell it or rent it out when we're done. And that seems to have really worked out for us. We don't have a ton of money to invest in the stock market, and I really don't know the stock market that well. But if you own a home, that can be a great investment, and you can, you know, fix it up and sell it or rent it out and get another one. And I know it sounds, not very stable moving from house to house every 2 to 3 years. But at the end of the day, when you get to be older and you're starting to retire and you've built up a little portfolio of real estate, that's going to be a lot less stressful than not having a retirement. So I think that would do well with a lot of people, young people, old people. It doesn't really matter what your age is. You can start, you know, yesterday, so to speak. Kind of like working out. There's never a bad time to start working out. Obviously, investing in your future, the younger you do it, the better. But you can also do it even at any age. So check out, that should be coming soon. And I'll be going through and looking at houses on Zillow, live screening that, and talking about what I look for when I'm going to purchase a home for my family to live in and to possibly sell or rent out in the future after you're past that 2 years of home ownership, so where you don't get the capital gains tax. So seems like, not a lot of people have, or a majority of people don't have money to invest in, stocks or savings and stuff like that, but they can make a mortgage payment. So if you can make a mortgage payment, you can invest and you can invest in your future. And it'll be something we can discuss later. Looks like the wind is kicking up pretty good out there. Doesn't really show it with the particular trees that the camera's focused on, but it's pretty good. Wow, what a beautiful Sunday morning. I like to wake up and get up before the family so I can have a little bit of my time and just soak up the day, so to speak, and get off on the right foot. Seems like when I wake up and I'm rushed to go, start working or whatever, it just doesn't, my day's just not as good compared to when I wake up with the sunrise and have my cup of coffee and kind of get focused and then get a plan for the day. And, of course that plan can change through the day, but, start out with some kind of plan and see how the day progresses. But it seems like the earlier I get up, the better the day is. Unless I'm just not sleeping, and then of course sleeping in really helps. Start your day with a nice, restful sleep. What are some of the cities that you live in, or states, or countries? And what's your weather like? What are your morning routines like? That's what fascinates people. Fascinate me. They're just, I love talking to people. I love getting to know their story and finding out where they come from, what shaped them, what motivates them. What they do for a living is always interesting to me. Uh, what people do for hobbies and how they kind of center themselves or not center themselves, or I just like to see what people do and what the outcome is, and how they live their life and what their outcome is, and what when I'm actually meeting them or talking to them or knowing them for a long period of time. It just fascinates me because everybody is just so unique and so different, and their outcomes are so different. They can do the same exact thing and have completely different outcomes. So it's fascinating to see. And when I say the same thing, they do the same thing in general, but they do little micro things that are different. They kind of shape their destiny on whatever it is that they're doing, whether it be their family, their work, their physical goals, their mental goals, whatever it is, their mental health, physical health, all that kind of stuff. And it seems like mental health and physical health, as well as financial health, it's now coming to the forefront of things that, you know, concentrating on rather than, you know, what the government's doing, or what, a foreign government's doing, or any of that. Just doesn't seem to really matter as far as, you know, your outcome, my outcome. What we concentrate on and what we think about and what we do kind of manifests itself, at least for myself, I've noticed. The more I concentrate and think about and be appreciative, the more that manifests into a positive vibe from myself. Less anxiety, less fear, less all that. It just really seems to help to kind of like fake it till you make it type thing. Say, oh, what a beautiful day when it's windy and overcast. But then you start to actually believe it. You start to feel it. But if you look at it and just say, oh, it's windy and overcast and it's nasty out, that's what you're going to start to believe. And so versus looking at it from a different perspective of saying, well, maybe it's not my ideal conditions for going outside. I'd rather be in, you know, sunny Malibu, so to speak, on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon. But this is where I am, and So trying to appreciate the beauty and the peace and the serenity that all of this has to offer is, for me at least, it seems to help. Because we, like I said, we don't have a lot of vitamin D. We don't have a lot of sunshine here. And so when you're low on vitamin D, the seasonal depression can kick in. I know a lot of people that struggle with it, and it's definitely a real condition. It can lead to some serious depression. So taking a vitamin D supplement and then also supplementing your brain on your thoughts in the Northwest really makes a difference, because there's a very hardy people up here, because it takes a very hardy person to thrive in this kind of thing and not just survive. So when you're not getting vitamin D, it's overcast, it's cold, you know, you really have to change your thinking to thrive, to have a good life for yourself and your family and your neighbors, because you do influence all those people whenever you are in contact or talking or just being around them. Your mood will seep into their mood. So by trying to be positive and those kind of things, it just it's just training. It's like working out. You have to train your brain, and I constantly have to do it with myself at least. I don't naturally think, oh, this is beautiful out. I don't naturally, that's not my natural state. And so I just keep training myself and training myself. And it's becoming truer and truer. Like I'm starting to try it, finally admire the beauty of the Northwest, whereas before it was just, it's overcast, it's raining, it's cold, blah, blah, blah. And so by not watching the news and not, paying attention to that stuff and paying more attention to the beauty that's all around me, meaning my family, the environment that I live in, it's just a huge difference. And so hopefully it'll start making a difference in the people that I do influence, that I am around. Hopefully they'll start to pick up on it and just give them a little bit more vitamin D in their life, so to speak. Sunday, windy, cloudy, beautiful morning. That sunshine is coming through. I don't know if you can see, but all the mountains around us are just covered in trees. There's some spots on the other side of the lake that have been developed, not so covered in trees, but most of the mountains we back up. Our property backs up to North Idaho, and on the other side is Washington, and behind us is just nothing but wilderness. I mean, you walk a mile into there, and you're deep in the wilderness. There's no civilization, so to speak. And so the animals and all that kind of stuff they're everywhere. We have moose. We have, like I said, we got moose. We got bears. We got cougars. We got bobcats. We've got otters, river otters. We've got wild turkey, tons of wild turkey, deer. We have never seen a cougar or a bobcat, but they're pretty elusive. They don't like to be seen. And we haven't seen any black bear. There's a black bear mama with, I guess, 2 cubs running around. So, and deer every day, and turkey every day. But so plenty of food for predator type animals. Well, I'm going to go make a little coffee, take a break for a second. Hope everybody enjoys the view while I'm gone. All right, welcome back. Had to get some coffee. It's really blowing out there right now, without a doubt. Probably 30, 40 mile an hour winds up here at least. But it is still beautiful out this morning. It is, clouds are moving fast. That's what I do like about the wind. You can kind of see the landscape change quite often. We have clouds rolling in and rolling out. But there's definitely blue skies peeking through. Love it. Oh, some good coffee. Anybody else got anything planned for today? Sunday morning. I'm going to hopefully get some tile done in a bathroom that I have all taken apart. It's one thing with living with a contractor. There's always something torn apart, as my wife and my child will tell me. But yeah, no, it's blowing out there. But the sun's also peeking out. So anybody watching from Washington or Idaho right now, just let me know in the chat. I'm starting to get some texts now. It seems like people are waking up. Good morning to everybody. Yeah, she's a blowin'. I think there's a wind advisory from here to Sandpoint, I believe. So, yeah, but man, is it looking nice out though. The wind isn't so nice, but like I said, it makes the clouds go by, kind of blows everything out. But it's just, it's beautiful. And the trees, my my wife and child just planted a bunch of trees yesterday, a bunch of fruit trees, so hopefully they didn't get blown over. And but the existing trees are definitely getting stressed and going to be stronger from the wind. Seems to really help that. And it's a clear enough day. I can see all the way down to Spokane. I can see the high rises from here. It's kind of hard to make them out in the video. It doesn't really do it justice, the view. But yeah, it is actually a pretty clear day out. Hopefully it'll warm up a little bit. We can get outside and do something fun. And what else is going on? Like I said, I'll be starting another live feed talking about investing in homes and gardens and all kinds of stuff that make your life a lot better place. Seems like the food we eat, if we can control it by growing it ourselves, which I'm not very good at, but my wife seems to really do well with, keeping our family with fresh vegetables and that she's grown and pesticide free and all that kind of stuff. And then as far as the housing goes, always improving your house for a possible selling it or renting it out or something, but just building more towards your future, whatever it is. And that's what we'll be discussing on that channel or on those live feeds. It'll be on the same channel. Oh, it looks like we have you can't quite see it, but out in the distance it looks like 3 hawks are looking for something. This wind has definitely scared off all the big birds. They're not, I don't see any of them on the tops of the trees or anything like that. We usually have quite a few of them around here because we do have a lot of rodents. If you haven't liked and subscribed, if you like it, please push the like button. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. It really helps with my channel, the subscribing. And yeah, just a beautiful Sunday morning. Got up right before sunrise, but unfortunately I had some technical issues getting the video to work. I finally did get it to work. I had to restart my phone, restart the camera, and that seemed to always help. It's always, the old restart method. When it's not working, just reset and start again. That seems to fix all the glitches usually. Anybody listening from another state other than Washington or watching? Give me a thumbs up if you're in any of the other areas besides Washington. Maybe make a comment. Maybe something you'd like to talk about. Let's keep it PG or G friendly. I do have some younger subscribers that like to watch the sunset or the sunrise or the mid-afternoon. A lot of people like to watch the live cams just for the weather, see what it looks like in their local area here, in our local area. But yeah, I think there's a wind advisory all over this area from Coeur d'Alene, Liberty Lake, Spokane, all the way up to Sandpoint. So if you're driving, I was coming back from Sandpoint yesterday. Wind was blowing. I'm in a full-size F-150, and it was blowing it. It was moving it. I had to definitely put 2 hands on the wheel on the 95. So be aware of that. If you're out driving, it's going to be a little bit windy. If you're in the local area, you can see by the trees blowing around. It is a little bit more exaggerated because we're on the top of the hill. So just know that. We're about 800 feet above the base of Liberty Lake, which I think it's at around 2,000 feet. So we climb about 800 feet coming up the hill. Not a lot, but enough to give you a pretty good view. So had a little intruder there coming in and out of the room. That's, like I said, this is the first time that I've been talking during during streaming, and I'm kind of struggling here to find stuff to talk about. But if you're listening, I appreciate it, and if you want to make a comment, please feel free. Looks like we've had a total of 9 views this morning. Not a lot. Yesterday on the drive, it's interesting because yesterday when I drove to Sandpoint from Liberty Lake, I had 134 viewers and quite a bit of concurrent listeners. And so I think Sunday morning is just not the time uh, to be live streaming, but it's also a good time for me to practice and get used to talking on the live stream. Hopefully you're enjoying it and it's relaxing and kind of helps you get a plan for the day. Like I said, I'd like to start it out with being thankful for everything that is in my life, my family. Um, Seems like everything seems to be getting better and better every day. I spent the day with my mother yesterday, and that was quite nice. We talked a lot about healthy living, healthy eating. So that's always a positive and something that my family seems to be circling around now. My brother's also talking about it. My other brother's going into coaching about it. And seems to definitely be a topic of everybody's interest right now, which is health and longevity and just living a better life while you're alive, not just a longer life. Quality of life seems to make a huge difference, at least it does with me. And getting up early in the morning and starting out the day with being appreciative of everything helps with the day when, you know, life puts its struggles in front of you. If you start out positive, it helps. I'm just as guilty as everybody else and not being appreciative of everything in my life and complaining and all that kind of stuff. But it seems like if I start the morning out this way, it makes that a lot less. And also just staying out of the news and social media that's negative. There's quite a bit of actually positive social media out there. I was looking for channels that do sunrises and sunsets, and there's quite a few of them. There's 100 of them, and I guess there were some studies that talk about watching the sunset and watching the sunrise, that it actually does lower your cortisol levels, lowers all the kind of stuff that your body doesn't need, and just makes you just relax, get a handle on things, so to speak. Like either whether it's going to bed, just kind of unwinding by seeing that sunset. So if you can't see it from where you're at, wherever you can always put a channel like this one on and catch a good sunset. I know that since I've been streaming these sunsets, it's been I think about a month and a half now, and the sunrises as well. It's making a difference on what I'm concentrating on. I'm now concentrating on sunsets and sunrises versus, what happened yesterday in the news or what happened during the night, and feeding off of that in the morning versus, or in the evening. Because, I work in the day, and then in the evening, it's like I'll usually get on and start looking at stuff that's not healthy, versus now it's like I just notice a more serene, calming effect of concentrating on things that are relaxing and positive versus concentrating on things that I have no. So seems to be working. So if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe, catch the sunsets when you can, catch the sunrises when you can, have a little chat. It does seem to help. There's something about it that definitely works. So if you're watching from another area, please leave a comment or let me know the area you're in and some of your morning routines, what you like to do in the morning, if you are a morning person, or if you're an evening person, some of your evening routines, some of the things that you do to wind down. Seems like there's a lot of people that are talking about, like Huberman talks about getting up in the morning and getting outside and getting some sunlight on those rods and cones. Well, if you're in the Northwest, it's kind of a difficult thing, but it still helps to get out just for a little while. The phone is, I do get a lot of my information from there. sometimes I have information, or health, longevity. I work with your hands. I work with my hands. I'm a contractor. I get so much information on building science and just building a better home and stuff like that. So the phone can be just an incredible amount of information that you can get for positive things rather than just things that you can't control, which you can control a lot of things in your own life, whether it be food, health, relationships, whatever it is. And so I've had some illnesses. Oh, good morning, Indoor Glow. Good to see you. And yeah, thank you for stopping by. You seem to be very consistent in that, and I appreciate it. And it's nice to see you. Seems like we're starting to get some regulars here on the channel that like a good sunset or a good sunrise. Seems to start their day off on a positive note. I've noticed I've actually got quite a few younger subscribers. So there doesn't seem to be as much TikTok, at least on this end of things. So there is some people wanting to engage in positive things that don't necessarily hit that dopamine instantly. And so I think the more we get away from that, the better. Well, one second here. I got to get some more coffee. I'm kind of limiting my coffee intake, so I've had a very small cup of coffee, and now I'm going to have another small cup of coffee. Stand by, I'll be back in a second. Well, welcome back. I ordered some coffee, so to speak. So I think the coffee will be coming in. I don't know if you guys, your morning ritual does coffee or tea or what you guys do for your morning ritual. But that seems to be part of mine. Looks like the sunshine's going away a little bit closer to us, but out towards Spokane, it's starting to really come out. So when I was coming home from Sandpoint last night to Liberty Lake, I went over the Spokane River, and the sunset off of there was just amazing. So I'm thinking about doing a live stream from there one of these evenings, because it's unreal. It's got the river, which is it's a big river, and the reflection of the oranges and the pinks and everything from the sunset last night. I did live stream that last night. If you want to check it out on the channel, it says I think it's mid-afternoon to sunset. It's like 7 hours long. Just fast forward to the end when the sun set there, and it is just spectacular. These northwest sunsets from up here are they're second to none. And then at my mother's house, she sent me some pictures of her sunset overlooking Schweitzer, and the ski mountain there is just incredible. So if you didn't get a chance, subscribe so you don't miss any of them, but give it a look-see. Hopefully the audio is coming through clean. Like I said, this is my first time to do this, so hopefully you can hear it well. Let me see if I flip my microphone around. It came with the DJI camera. Maybe that'll sound better. Oh, can't really see on the camera or on the video feed, but the sun is coming out. We're at about 2,800 feet elevation. The base of Liberty Lake is at around 2,000 feet. So we're about half a mile up. Nowhere near like Colorado or anything like that, but we are up here. And it gives us a view that we can see clearly past Spokane to the Spokane airport and past that. So about a 40-mile, 50-mile view from where I'm sitting right now, looking out. It's just spectacular. Liberty Lake is a population of about 8,000 feet. Liberty Lake does border on the Idaho border. It's in Washington. So we are right across the border from Idaho. If you're going into Idaho from Liberty Lake, you'll be going into Coeur d'Alene on the highway. Coeur d'Alene's a beautiful lake community, like Liberty Lake community. And it's got a huge resort on the water there. It's a giant lake as well. Not as big. No, Liberty Lake is quite a bit smaller than Coeur d'Alene Lake. Then once you're in Coeur d'Alene, if you were to start driving towards Sandpoint going up North Idaho, you'll pass Hayden Lake. It's about the same size as Liberty Lake. And then past that, you'll go to Sandpoint, which is Lake Pend Oreille, which is one of the largest lakes in Idaho. And it's one of the deepest lakes in the country at 1,300 feet. There is a naval base there. They do some submarine testing, not actual submarines, but submarine development. So I believe it's one of the oldest bases in the United States. And they've also got a really nice ski mountain called Mount Schweitzer. It's about an intermediate to advanced skier. It's quite built up. There's a lot of condos, houses, lodging, lodges, restaurants, quite a bit to do up there. The closest mountain for us is Mount Spokane. It's a beginning to intermediate mountain. There is only a lodge up there. There is no, or a place to eat. There is no accommodations to stay overnight, anything like that. But it's a great mountain for beginners to learn how to ski, teach your kid how to ski. Great place to do that. And it's local to Spokane. As far as driving to Schweitzer from Liberty Lake, it's about an hour and a half drive, somewhere in there. But it's definitely worth it. It's all pretty brand new. I would say most of the developments happened in the last 10 to 15 years. So it's a good looking mountain. And all their architecture up there is just amazing. And Sandpoint's about the same as Liberty Lake, about 8,000 population. You've got Coeur d'Alene, I think it's around 60,000 or 70,000. Thank you. And then coffee was just delivered. And then as far as Post Falls, which is right next, is between, if you are driving going to Coeur d'Alene, you're going to hit Post Falls first. Post Falls does not have a lake, that's why I kind of didn't mention it, but it's a great community. It does have a really nice river that with some incredible bridges over it and stuff like that. Post Falls is about 50,000 population. Coeur d'Alene, I think, is about 60 or 90,000 population, something like that. And then it just really dramatically drops off in Sandpoint at about 8,000 population. Sandpoint in the summer, the lake is at around 78 degrees to 80 degrees, but usually around 78, 76, 78, somewhere in there on the surface water. So wakeboarding, wake surfing, anything like that is just, it's incredible. The lake is 45 miles long. You can find your own private Idaho, so to speak, to where you can do all the fishing, skiing, surfing, whatever you're into, and not be disturbed by other boats or other people. And then they also do have the areas where everybody kind of congregates. And so there are that they have a city beach, which is a man-made thing that they brought in a bunch of sand back in, I believe it was the 50s. And so it's got it's really shallow there. So great place to bring the kids, crystal clear water. Just a great place to bring the family to City Beach in Sandpoint, Idaho. Accommodations there now is going to be quite a few Airbnbs. They're lifting the limitations on those, so accommodations should be a lot more. Accommodations were kind of scarce there. They were limited to 30 Airbnbs in the city limits, and there's not a lot of hotels there. So it's kind of made it just a little bit more difficult to be there. Whereas now, I think by this summer, there'll be quite a bit more offerings as far as Airbnb is concerned, or short-term rentals, making it a little easier to go there and stay for the weekend or a week. It does really get crowded during the summertime, which is nice. A lot of tourists, stuff like that. And like I said, if you're into a lake, it's 45 miles long, 1,300 feet deep, super warm water. I don't know how it's so warm, but it is. And a lot of great people. A lot of people from Canada go there. A lot of people from Washington go there. Montana, you name it. It's just a great lake. Coeur d'Alene, same thing. A lot of people from all over the place go to Coeur d'Alene. Liberty Lake, it's pretty much the locals that go to the Liberty Lake. It's not that big of a lake, but it's big enough to, water ski on and that kind of thing. I don't know about how good the fishing is. It's a very shallow lake, Liberty Lake. It's 27 feet at its maximum depth. So, you could dive it, free dive. And then we have 3 golf courses here. It's definitely a golf course community. And just a very nice community. Lots of families now. It's more of on the affordable side. Coeur d'Alene, which, is 25 minutes away, can be very expensive. Post Falls is even expensive. You can still buy a home in Liberty Lake in the suburbs, the newer suburbs, for around $400,000. So, compared to 600, 700,000 in Coeur d'Alene and up from there. Same thing with Sandpoint. You're going to start at around 500 to 600,000, and then anything in the south side of downtown in Sandpoint, you're going to creep up to the $700,000 to $1 million range. And then if you want to be on the water, it's going to be at least $2 million. So Liberty Lake does have a lot to offer as far as if you're a young family starting out, and you still need to work in a city. And Spokane is one of the larger cities in Washington. I think it's like the 4th largest or something like that. So it does offer that. Whereas you're out of the city, you do have a small community feel. It's very safe. You don't really have to lock up your car and all that kind of stuff as far as a place to bring a young family and starting out. And then you can always migrate towards then if you wanted to have even more of a bigger lake. Coeur d'Alene's right there, so you can drive up to Coeur d'Alene. You can drive to Sandpoint. Their lakes are just all over the Northwest here. Imagine that. I guess we get a lot of rain here. Hopefully, you guys are going to have a pleasant Sunday afternoon. It's already 9 o'clock. I think I've been going since I believe 6 o'clock this morning. So I've been on for about 3 hours. And we'll see how the viewership did. Like I said yesterday, I did a drive and I had 134 viewers. And I had quite a few people stay on for about 10 minutes, which was nice. Believe it or not, it makes the drive less lonely when you're talking, even though it's a one-sided conversation. It does seem like people are listening, and so it just makes it feel like you have, I guess, somebody in the room or in the car with you, which is nice. So I do kind of get that live streaming, community feeling, or just that you're talking to other people, which is nice. Anybody have any special morning routines that really seem to work for them that they want to hit up in the chat there? So I don't know if you guys have any special morning routines that you do that really starts your day off in a positive way, or if you even are a morning person. Seems like about 50-50. Some people are morning people, some people are evening people. I seem to be both. I love the mornings and I love the evenings. But let me know. Leave a comment. What is it that you do for your morning routine? Or what do you do to wind down in the evening? Like how do you start to calm that brain down in the evening? Like do you have a special time you turn off the TV or your screens and say no screen time from this point forward, or is it just full bore and then you just pass out, or what's your evening routine as well? I'm just fascinated by what other people do to see if I can adapt some of that or try some of it to see if it helps in my day or my evening. I love learning from other people's what they do, because sometimes it actually will make an effect on my life. Looks like the sun is shining down on Spokane right now. It's going to start creeping this way, I believe, by the way the clouds are moving. Still makes for a spectacular view, though. When it's clear like this, it's just amazing. Even when it's foggy, the fog will roll in and come over the lake. First it'll come down the hill and then over the lake and then up this hill to our house, and it's just amazing. And ever since I started doing the live streaming for the sunrise and sunsets, it's really had a calming effect on me. And my interests have changed from news and all that kind of stuff to, believe it or not, just watching the sun come up and go down. Like, it's just as simple as that. Sometimes when you just slow it down and just get simple with your life, it's amazing the effect it has, rather than just complications and complications and complications. I'm not saying that there's not healthy stress, but slowing it down sometimes really helps. At least it helps with me. And I seem to really enjoy doing this streaming and letting everybody else see what we see here on the top of the hill here, or mountain, I guess you could call it. It's just really just seeing far out there in the distance. So if you have a view mountain you can go to in your area and watch the sunrise or watch the sunset, it's worth it. I know it seems like a very simple thing and it's not going to do anything, but it really does help you. Either start the day off and be appreciative of your life, your health, your family, all that kind of stuff. I know that when I get up early and then I wait to hear the family start to get up, and then it's like, just kind of lightens my day. It makes my day, I just appreciate it more. And then anybody want to comment on what do they usually do on a Sunday? What's your usual, do you do chores? Do you go to church? Do you, what does your Sunday look like? Oh, that was a big bird that just flew by. I think I'm going to have a nice Sunday morning with my family once I get done with the streaming, and just enjoy my Sunday with my family. Get some chores done, possibly do a little tiling. Probably going to be a little Home Depot in my future today. Usually is. And I know that some days I'm like, well, I wish I didn't work with my hands. I wish I had like an executive type job, which I have had. And then it just takes a morning like this, and next thing you know, I'm like just appreciative that I still can work with my hands, that I still have the physical ability to do it, and my health is good enough to do those kind of things. So it's, like I said, if you just slow it down, you'll start appreciating the things that you thought were a detriment, or at least I do. Looks like everybody said it's a slow Sunday. Not a lot of viewers on Sundays, but it's a great time for me to practice. Just talking live, it's kind of a difficult thing to do. I got to be honest, I have a lot of respect for the people that can just sit there and chat with an audience for hours at a time and not really have a conversation back, so to speak. It's searching for words sometimes, and it's interesting. But it's also very therapeutic, because I get to talk about the things I like to talk about. Is it windy in your area this morning? Is it cold? Is it warm? What state are you in? Looks like we've had 12 views. That's 12 more than 0, so I'll take it. That's a win in my book. And we have 3 concurrent viewers going right now with an average view of 18 minutes. So I'm a happy camper. Somebody's listening. Is there any people that are on the journey for better health out there? And what does their journey look like? What do you kind of diets or workouts or mental health things are you doing? I find it all very interesting because it seems like everybody's got a different spin on things that seems to be pushing them forward in some way, pushing the project forward, so to speak, even if it doesn't seem like it's going forward, but just talking about it is the first step. And it seems like even though, sometimes there's just a lot of talk, but that talk usually leads to some kind of action. And so what is your talk that leads to the action? I notice a lot of people seem to be talking about health more whenever we're at a social function or whatever. It seems to be more leaning towards that nowadays, which is just amazing. Such a great time to be alive. That people are now concentrating on health, self-reliance, growing your own food, being responsible for, your own health. That seems to be the biggest takeaway, that everybody's kind of shifting the responsibility to themselves and no longer to like, well, this is the food I'm offered or this is the situation I'm in. Seems like a lot of people are starting to shift away with like, no, we do have the power within to change our outcome, to change our lifestyle, our diet, our health, our exercise, our whatever it is. And that's going to make for a much healthier generation of people to come up. And I just was listening to a podcast with Rhonda Patrick on it, who she's quite interesting as far as longevity and health. And they were saying that the younger generation, I guess the 21, right now 21 and over, 21 to 25, excuse me, is seeing quite a huge drop off in alcohol consumption. Like huge. The biggest in, I guess, recorded history, that a lot of people are shying away from that just because of the physical aspects, not even the mental health issues, but just the physical aspects of the poison. So that's really saying something, because alcohol has been a social lubricant for a long time, and you know, and it seems like that is kind of going away from the younger people, which is great. That's a very positive thing. That means that they don't need that to be social. They don't need that in their life, it's a very interesting time, like where everything is coming into question, everything that you're putting into your body, that you're putting into your ears or into your eyes, what effect that has on you, because it all has an effect, good and positive and negative, and in between. Some of it doesn't mean anything, and some of it means the world. I would say for me, the biggest health effect I've noticed for my mental health is staying away from negative news, whatever it is, whether it be politics or health or whatever it is. It's just staying away from that and gravitating more towards solutions in my life that I can actually control, that I can actually affect. That seems to make a huge difference in my mental outlook, which then makes a difference in my physical outlook. Because it's something that I guess when you're constantly stressed or living in fear or anything like that, or anxiety, which a lot of us are nowadays, then you have a lot of cortisol pumping through your body, and then therefore you become insulin resistant. Just the list is long of health effects that your actual mental health has on your physical health. And so that's what I've been really trying to do, because I've been concentrating on physical health for probably about the last 5 years. But as far as the mental health, that seems to be the biggest game changer than the physical health. in a mental health situation that's not positive. It looks like we had a technical issue there. For some reason it stops live streaming, but it looks like we're back online. So got that fixed. If you can still hear me, uh, let me know in the comment section. I can't tell. Maybe I can turn up something. If you can still hear. Well, I can hear it on this end, so I imagine that you can hear it. So, anything anybody want to chat about, as long as it's PG or G, I'd love to hear what's on your mind. Leave a comment. What what do you what do you do? What do you do for fun? I think this summer I'm going to get more into mountain biking. It seems to be something that's calling to me lately. I've had my mountain bike for, I don't know, 6 years and really haven't gotten into it, but recently used it to pull my daughter around on a inner tube in the snow, and that was a lot of fun. And so I think that we're going to get into biking this summer. Just a lot of mountain biking in the Northwest, a lot of trails, whether it be, for beginner or all the way up to advanced. You can go up to Schweitzer and, go downhilling or whatever you're into. So I think I'm going to really try to get into that this summer with my family. But I think I'm going to take a break for a while, and I will come back and chat with you guys in a bit. I'm going to go say hi to my family. Everybody's awake, and see what the day brings. Thanks for listening, and I'll probably talk to you in about an hour.